So VRP is variable recurring payments. So essentially think of it as your mobile phone bill. So currently today you pay it through a direct debit. And what you could do is that so some people might buy games on their phone and that gets charged through their mobile phone bill. So the amount of money that you're actually spending on your mobile phone could change month on month. So what we're going to do now with VRP is that same concept, instead of it having to be through a direct debit, it would be through a variable recurring payment. So you would get my consent as Cat Cloud, the consumer. I would give you my consent to say, yep, okay, between £10 to £20, you can make payments out of my account using PIS, using open banking. So there's one bank, NatWest, that have been quite outspoken about this. And so VRP was actually written into the open banking order. So the CMA order that first introduced all of open banking, the concept of VRP was written into that. So the CMA and the OBIE had to implement it. But what they did during the implementation is that it's quite a narrow scope. So you can only really do a VRP payment from a me-to-me type of account. So I could pay Cat Cloud's Barclays savings account to Cat Cloud's Barclays. What I couldn't do is pay like my mobile phone bill. That's not in scope of what we have VRP today. So it's become controversial because obviously we want to encourage the use of open banking. We want to allow different types of payments. So we have banks like NatWest who have been very forward and very outspoken about trying to encourage what we're deeming as commercial variable recurring payments. So it's all the types of payments that are outside that scope of that narrow me-to-me payment. So it'd be things like paying your mobile phone. The reason why it's controversial is because it sits outside of regulation. So open banking, PSD2 doesn't cover it. The only area where you see a little bit of regulation is GDPR for more of a data protection side of things, not a actual sharing of the data, allowing the payment to process, things like that. So it become controversial because open banking in general has been very expensive for the banks to build. And the scope of stuff is quite limited because of the regulation. Here's the first thing that is actually a really concrete product that a lot of banks and FinTechs want to push for, but it sits outside of that scope. So exactly how do we progress that has been a challenge to get everyone to agree on the same page, agree on the same route forward. You get into things like pricing, you get into things like liability, consumer protection. Because of the no regulation, all of that has a question mark around it.